Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. So today we're going to talk about rates. Now, what is a rate? A rate's a ratio comparing two quantities, of different kinds of units. So let's talk about some examples. And I know you're thinking in your head, oh my gosh, I have no idea what this is, like no idea what it even looks like. But once I come up with one example, I promise you will see another. And I forgot, I don't have color. So FPS, what about that one? Frames per second. I see that now with my system that I use to record myself. Right now I'm at 30 FPS. So how many frames do I see in 1 second? So my camera is, it's not the best, but it's better than nothing. Another example is MPH, so miles per hour. We use this constantly, especially when we're discussing how fast our parents are going. We know we're going 60 miles per 1 hour. The next one I could think of is WPM, words per minute. So how quickly can you type? How quickly can you speak? How quickly can you read? So that's what a rate is, something per another thing. And then it brings us to our next definition, which is unit rate. A unit rate has a denominator of 1 unit, depending on the type of unit it is, when the rate is written as a fraction. So we'll see most of these written as fractions. So this leads us to our first example. Samantha picked 45 oranges in 5 minutes. Write this rate as a unit rate. So we want our denominator to be equal to 1. And I'm going to pick let's go with blue to be my extra color today, because I'm a blue type of person. Why not? Typically when we write them, the time is on the bottom, also known as the denominator. So I'm going to put that off to the side. So we're going to go ahead and start with my math. Let's say it's going to be red. So I'm going to start with my 45 on top, my 5 on the bottom. And then we want to write it as a unit or simply 1. So can I divide by 5 into both of these? Well, my answer there is yes. How do I know? My last number ends in a 5, so I can divide by 5. 45 divided by 5 is 9. 5 divided by 5 is 1. So we can say that Samantha picked 9 oranges in 1 minute. Or we could say another way to write this is something that people do more commonly, is writing it shorthand. So instead of saying the word 1, I just lost my train of thought. She picked 9 per minute. Shorthanded that way. That's what I was going for, and I can't believe that just went off my head. So 2 different ways to write the same answer. One is not more right than the other. They are just simply different. All right, next one. The Australian dragonfly can travel 18 miles in 30 minutes. How far can it travel in 1 minute? So again, we typically put time on the bottom, and I said my color was red. So we're going to do the miles on top, the minutes on the bottom. And I asked myself, okay, so can I take 18 and divide it by 30? Because we said we want to have we said we want the bottom to be 1 because it's asking for in 1 minute. No, I can't take 18 divided by 30. But what I can do is I can simplify this fraction as best as I can. And I know that 6 can go into both, so I'm going to divide both by 6. 18 divided by 6 is 3. 30 divided by 6 is 5. And 3/5 is the smallest I can get this. So this dragonfly can travel 3 miles. Come on, computer. In 5 minutes. And I don't know why it keeps doing that to me. Must hate me all of a sudden. So what I can say for my final answer is, since I'm wanting per 1 minute, if I can go 3 miles in 5 minutes, I can go 3/5 of a mile. And I'm going to type this because down there by my keyboard is difficult to type after all. I can go 3/5 of a mile per minute. So I can't go very far. So instead of saying my miles on top per minute, what I'm doing is I'm giving a fractional answer, because my two numbers, my numerator and my denominator, cannot simplify fully like my first example. So because of that, I have to give a fractional answer, since I can't give a solid answer. Okay. I want you to, well, we'll do this one together. You don't really have a partner. This is going to be my, hey, work with your partner, guys. So we'll be partners. Jonathan's baking several loaves of bread to sell in his bakery. He uses 9 cups of water and 12 cups of flour. How much water does he use per cup of flour? Now, in this example, you notice it asks me water per flour. So because this doesn't involve time, I'm going to write the water over the flour. So let's replace that with numbers now. So 9 cups of water. Oops, wrong color. Let's go back to my red. So 9 cups of water over my 12 cups of flour. And I want to reduce this per cup of flour. So I'm going to try and get that denominator to be 1. But again, I cannot simply divide 9 and 12. I can't divide 9 by 12. It's not going to work. But I can reduce them by the same number. I can divide both by 3. 9 divided by 3 is 3. 12 divided by 3 is 4. So I can say that for my final answer, Jonathan uses space, cup of water per cup of flour. And I can't really math type with my smartboard. I don't have enough of the extensions, but that's besides the point. What do you think I'm going to put in my space by space? Good, that 3/4. I can use 3/4 of a cup of water per 1 cup of flour. So I'm not using a full cup of water, but that's okay. Oop, laundry's done. Gonna have to do that after this. Oh boy. All right, I would like you to try this one on your own. Come back and see your answer. She should get 7 songs in a minute. Okay, this problem I get tripped up on sometimes with the wording, so bear with me. Now, it's going to seem like I'm saying it wrong, but I promise you that I'm not. An adult's heart beats about 2,100 times every 30 minutes. A baby's heart beats about 2,600 times per every 20 minutes. How many more beats does a baby's heart beat in 60 minutes than an adult's heart? Okay, so first things first. We have 2 different things going on. We have a baby's heartbeat and we have the adult's heartbeat. Next, I'm going to get my blue underlining color. We have adult heart in 30 minutes and baby's heart in 20 minutes. The second thing is that it wants me to compare in 60 minutes. Well, I noticed that neither the adult or the baby's heartbeats are written in terms of 60 minutes. Neither one is actually written in a comparison of either. I have 30 minutes compared to 20 minutes. So what I need to do first is I need to reduce down the beats per minute for the adult heart and the baby heart. So step 1, the adult heart just because that comes first. Remember, we do time on the denominator. So I'm going to do beats. Oops, I need a 1 there. Divided by my 30 minutes. We discussed how if I end in a 0, both of them, then I can cross them straight off. And then I'm going to cover up that little 0. Where's my mouse? Pretend that 0 doesn't exist for a moment. 21 divided by 3 is 7. And then I'm going to bring that 0 back. And I have 70 beats per 1 minute. Oops. And typically you see it written as a fraction. Next, we're going to discuss the child or the baby. And they have about 2,600 beats. Oh, come on. Really don't like when my computer wants to be dim like this. It makes me very upset and sad. It works majority of the time, but it really doesn't want to work when I need it to. So again, we're going to put the minutes on the bottom. In this case, it's 20. Ends in a 0, so I can again cross that last 0 off. 26 divided by 2 gives me 13, and add that extra 0 back on. So 130 beats per minute. But I'm asked for the final answer to be in 60 minutes. That's a big key part here, 60 minutes. Well, I need to somehow turn 1 into 60, because remember, denominator is my time. Well, in order to get that denominator to be 60, what I do the top, I do the bottom, so we're going to multiply it. So I'm going to take my 70 over 1, going back to the adult. And I switched to the blue because I wanted you to recognize we're on step 2. So I'm going to take that 70 over 1 times 60 over 60. Oops, I need a 0 on that. 6 times 7 is 42. And then I have 2 zeros. And then 60 times 1 is just 60. So I can get 4,200 beats in a minute, or 60 minutes, or per hour. I'm going to go back to that dark blue, because we're going to do the babies next. And they had 130 over 1 times 60. Oh, 13 times 6, that's not an easy one. So off to the side, note to self. Blue. We're going to take 13 times 6 and then just tack on the zeros. 6 times 3 is 18. 1 times 6 is 6 plus 1 more is 7. So go back to my red. So 78 with 2 zeros, so 7,800 in 60 minutes. Running out of space, and I hit the extendo pageo button too many times. And then I go back to the original problem, and I say, okay, well, I'm in 60 minutes now, but it wants to know how many more times. And I'm going to highlight that because that's just such a big thing right here. How many more times does the baby's heart beat compared more? See, told you. How many more times or how many more beats does a baby's heartbeat do than an adult's? So when I'm comparing about how many, I'm going to simply subtract. So I'm going to take the baby's amount, so the 7,800, minus the adult, which is the 4,200 or 4,200. 0, 0, 8 minus 2 is 6, 7 minus 4 is 3. So my final answer, and I gotta make sure I'm in the right color, is a baby's heart beats 3,600. Why isn't this working? 3,600 more beats per 60 minutes than an adult's heart. That's a lot. So, because we know 60 minutes is an hour, right? We're logical thinking human beings. We can remember that fact. 3,000, almost 4,000 more heartbeats in 1 hour. That's crazy. Sorry, I'm kind of fascinated by stuff like that. Woohoo, definition, unit price. The unit price is the cost per unit or single item. So let's go ahead and work through this example. It costs $36 for 4 people to see a movie. How much was each ticket? Okay, this is a fairly common problem that you're going to see in life. A bunch of people go out to lunch, they all get the same thing. How much did each person's item cost? Or if they go out to some kind of, ticket, something. Hey guys, I bought everyone's tickets. You owe me this amount of money. So how do you determine that price? Well, just like when we did our time on the bottom, we usually have our the item on the bottom. So it's price per ticket. So when you think about the way that's said, I'm going to switch my colors for a moment. Think of where you're going to put that fraction line. Well, the word per is typically where that fractional line will go. So I'm going to have my, oops, wrong blue. I like the darker blue. It shows up a little bit nicer. We're going to put my price over my tickets. So if I had $36 for 4 tickets, I want to see if I can divide that down. So can I take and divide both by 4? Yes, I can. 36 divided by 4 is 9. 4 divided by 4 is 1. So each ticket, and I'm going to type that, because again, my typing skills are much superb compared to my writing skills on my computer. So each ticket costs $9. Pretty cool. Do I have any more in this one? Nope. All right, Heather spent $96 on 4 concert tickets. How many was each ticket? And we're going to start with our price per ticket. So I had 96. Ooh, that was rough. Divided over my 4. So we know we can divide it, and yeah, I don't know what that division is off the top of my head. So let's work it out. So how many times can 4 go into 9? 4 can go into 9 twice. 4 times 2 is 8. 9 minus 8 is 1. Bring down the next number. How many times can 4 go into 16? 4 can go into 16 4 times. 4 times 4 is 16. Ooh, I said 4 and I wrote 4. I meant 16. And I have 0 left over. So each concert ticket was $24. And honestly, if you think about that for a ticket price, whew, that's pretty cheap, especially if you're only going, especially depending on who you're going to see. Like, man, I couldn't even imagine what a ticket would be that cheap. All right, try this one on your own. Just pause the video, come back, see what you get. Should get $22 per plant. Okay, that should be the end of it. Have a good day, guys.